This is my third try at this video. Have you ever seen anybody throw a hissy fit? Well, I was just about ready for one when I went all the way through. 45 minutes I talked to myself and was getting ready to record it, and there was nothing there. I don't know what happened, so I'll try again. All right, I set it up. I thought, well, we'll see if I can remember what I said the first time. And I'm just talking away, and I look up and I notice it's not recording. Okay, folks, this is the third time, and I'm watching the numbers as they go by. This was one of those mornings you wake up, it's dark and gloomy looking outside, and you figure you might as well just stay in bed. But instead, I went to the bathroom because, necessity calls. And I finished there, and I said, well, might as well stay up. Now that I'm up, I'll go to the kitchen, fix my breakfast. Now, a big breakfast to me is a sausage biscuit. These are the Tennessee Pride sausage biscuits. I don't do the whole works myself, never. Got a frog in my throat. So, these little biscuits are about this big, and they're pretty good. So I finished my biscuits, and I said, I think I'll do a little chit-chat on YouTube. What can I talk about? Oh, whatever comes to mind, I'll come up with something. So here I am doing the chit-chat, and I'm still watching the numbers move to make sure that it's recording. Because if it doesn't record this time, you're going to hear something slam against the wall. Okay, I've been watching Billie Jean in the kitchen. Now, he's very good, very good. He knows what he's doing, and he makes it look very simple. One of the things I have noticed day by day is he uses a little item called a whisk that stirs his eggs for him. That's an effort when you have to stir your eggs with your hand. So he uses a whisk, and I said, I've got every gadget they make for the kitchen, but I don't have one of those. So I decided I'm going to HomeGoods. I'm going to find one so that it's easy for me to stir my eggs too. I don't fix eggs very often, but I still want to be able to do it the easy way. Okay. I looked up and down the wall, a big wall of gadgets. Up and down and up and down. I found everything they could possibly make for a kitchen gadget except a whisk. How can that be? I bought a lot of things there. In fact, while I was there, I bought 2 or 3 more little gadgets. Now, one of them I'm going to show you is this. This was what was in the package. You see this little thing? It's a little stand. It's got a little cup there. And I put my little iPad down in that little stand. I'm looking at it now, at the iPad. And it's simple. I can set it on the table, and it's right height, and I don't have to fight with my other holders and the stands and everything. Sometimes I fight with the one that I set up on the floor so much that I'm ready to throw it away and just forget about YouTube. But this little thing was right there with the kitchen gadget, and I said, it's just a little bitty thing. I'll try it. So that's what I'm working with today. Now, instead of finding a whisk, this is what I found. show it to you. You probably know what it is. It's called a milk frother. Frother, you know, milk frother. Get that? Okay. Calls for batteries. Let me show you. I'll show you. I think it'll work. See, you looking at it now? That little thing right there. And don't touch it with your finger like I did, because it goes around fast. And I said, that'll work perfect. I can put that in my eggs and froth them. Okay, Billie Jean, you might want one of these too. Save you having to work your wrists so much. Okay, now let's see, where was I going to go from there? I reached in the cabinet and I pulled this out. Oh, this is one of my treasures. Got the Bakelite handle for it. And they also have one for the Fiesta ware. Now, I don't think this is a Fiesta ware because the handle would probably be in one of the Fiesta colors. Well, what I discovered is, well, first, I have a big jar of honey. My new son-in-law has beehives, and he was working with his honey. I happened to be there one day, and he had several jars already to go, and he gave me a jar of the honey. I'm going to tell you, it's good tasting stuff. I'm not a big honey person. I don't use it often, but when you need it, you need it, and this is really delicious honey. So what I wanted to do was put some in this jar, so I just have it handy anytime I could just ready to use it. Well, this is stuck. See what I'm looking at? This, you press it down here, and this is supposed to open up where you can pour it out. It won't work. I put it in hot water, and I've pushed and pressed, and I don't want to tear it up. It just doesn't work. So while I was at HomeGoods, I ran across this. Same thing, only it's not an old one, it's a new one. See, it's got the same top to it. You press that down, and it opens it up so that you can pour your honey out. So, I'm going to put about a third of a jar of honey in here, and I'll have it when sometimes I just want to put a spoon in it and taste it for something sweet. So this will work just fine. So in case you are wanting something like that too, go to HomeGoods. That's where I found this one. I found something else at HomeGoods. I'll show it to you. Now see, this got a glare. But this is in the party section where you get your napkins and your paper plates and your fancy thing when you're going to have a picnic or a party. And let me tell you, I've already got one set in yellow. And when I'm working with my Fiesta ware and colorful dishes, that tableware, it's not sterling silver, of course not, but it serves the purpose and it makes a beautiful picture. So these are kind of on what you might call a peachy orange color. Now, they had about 4 different colors, and I didn't think I needed light blue or pink. So I took this, and I said, I'll come up with something in the fall for a harvest decoration. And you know how much they cost? $5.99. Who's going to pass that up? Not this old girl. So I thought you might be interested in something like that yourself. You can use them every day. and save your good silverware if you want to. So, another thing I wanted to show you was, you see I'm sitting here in front of the little rack. That's two different racks. They're just alike. And that's my English Abbey cups and saucers. And if everybody notices when I'm on this side of the room, they notice my china. That china, I've told you about it time and time again because it is a favorite. I've got a lot of favorite things. English Abbey, I like the name. It just got a warm, comforting feeling about it when something's got a name like English Abbey. Now, I've talked about it. When I first bought it, I had 15 plates. Didn't have a single cup and saucer. And through the years, I picked up pieces, one piece at a time. I got the little gravy boat. I got the tureen. The tureen was expensive. It was hard to find. But since I've been showing these dishes to you on YouTube, a nice lady sent me a gift. She sent me 2 gifts, one at a time. And this is what she sent. I've got to show it to you now. Let's take one at a time. These are double-handled soup cups. You can see the doorway, open doorway to what would have been the Abbey. Beautiful, beautiful design. And on the inside, you can see the little doorway to the Abbey too. Well, of all the china there is, and all the pieces there are in china, this happened to be my favorite piece, the double-handled soup cup. 6 of these came in the mail. I was absolutely astonished when I saw them. I did not know there was a double-handled cup. So, when I display them, this is how I display them, because you can't set it down inside another cup and it won't sit level. So I set it like this. I put it down in the cup. Let's do it this way. Okay. That one had a chip in it and I didn't know it. Okay. This is the way I display it. So I set one cup, because it takes a lot of room when you put them in singles. And sometimes you stack your cups and plates. But this is the double-handled soup cup. And again, she sent me another package with 6 more soup cups. Couldn't do better than that. I hope she's watching. And I want to thank her again, because I couldn't have asked for a nicer gift. Now, I don't know what I was going to talk about next. I can't remember what I said in the first video. But I thought I'd just mention my books. These books, time passed, and these books are getting to be old. Here's my cookbook. For those of you who are new to my channel, this is my cookbook. Am I finished? Here's book number 1. Wait till you hear this one. When I had to give this book a name, now you see this book is about true stories. They're short stories, family stories, stories about me, my kids, people I've known, just whatever comes along that I figure will make a good story. And the house on the front is a caricature type uh, painting by my granddaughter. It's a picture of the house I grew up in. See, you see that long? That's a metal awning across there. And there's a wicker chair there. There's the swing. Oh, couldn't do the painting without the swing on the front porch. Everybody's heard about that. You've heard lots of stories. And of course, this is a bedroom window with the metal awning, and of course, the sidewalk that leads up to the porch. So the porch is like half the width of the house. So wait till you hear this one, because once you finish one story, you say, got to see what the next story's about. Okay, I finished that one, and people kept saying, you need to write another book. I said, well, I don't know about that. I don't know if I've got enough stories left. So I started, and I ended up with a book with recipes in it. Now, the young man that I had helping me was, I think they're considered volunteers at the Carnegie Center, where they help people who want to be writers. They have volunteers from the university who come and edit material and help you get the book published through Amazon. That's where my books are from, Amazon. So here I am with my recipes and the stories, and he says you need to do 2 books. Separate them. So I did. I ended up with 73 more stories. Hold it, Lord, hold it. I'm not finished yet. Well, now this was the book I could not come up with the title for it. Nothing seemed appropriate. My daughter, she says, hold it, Lord, hold it. I'm not finished yet. I said, okay, that's going to be the title, because you consider my age. I didn't have much time left. If I was going to write a book, I better get busy. So I said, hold it, Lord, hold it. I'm not finished yet. I've got more stories to tell. So I separated the cookbook stories from this book. This book, the first book, has 100 stories in it. They're just 2, 3, and 4 pages long. But you know, some of us are kind of unsettled to where we can't sit very long at a time, and we don't want to have to read the whole book. We just want one story at a time. So that's what I gave you in the first book, 100 pages. 100 stories. There's over 400 pages in that book. And it won't take you long to read them. So then I did this book. It has 73 more stories. That'll keep you busy for a little while. Now, with the cookbook, the thing I like about my cookbook is that the title says, Make Mine the Blue Plate Special. A lot of you have no idea what that means. I remember when that was painted on the windows of cafes. I was a little girl. It was bad time during Depression years. And I can remember going in a cafe with my mother and Daddy, and there was that on the window, and there would be the menu of what the Blue Plate Special was for the day. Blue Plate Special cost you like 25 cents. You would get your cup of coffee or maybe tea, and basically the menu was pretty much the same. You might get fried potatoes, you might get soup bean. Now, soup bean to you could be navy beans, white beans. Um, there's several different kinds. I think you can count up to about 10 different kinds of beans. And there were the pinto beans with little speckles on them. Those were the beans my mother cooked all the time, pinto beans. And so you'd go in the cafe and you'd get pinto bean, cornbread, and you might get some potatoes with your meal. That was because times were bad and people were hungry. And working men, if they could find a job, would stop for their lunch. So, here's my blue plate special. And of course, you can see the blue. That's blue willow. That is my beef vegetable soup. It's got carrots, green beans, got lima bean. It's got macaroni, potatoes, what else? Of course, your tomatoes, and I put a little bit of cabbage in. I cut it real fine, because some people can't eat cabbage. So I put just a handful of cabbage in my beef vegetable soup, and I try to use short ribs. It gives the best beef flavor. Short ribs gotten kind of expensive, so I've had to go to beef stew, and I cut it up fine, shred it good, so that you've got plenty of beef in your vegetable soup. So that is the cover of my cookbook. And it doesn't have too many recipes because I'm not the avid cook like you will find. I live alone. I don't need to do that much cooking. And I've cooked the things I've been cooking all my life. It's the food I fed my children. It's the food that my mother fed our family. So that's the kind of cooking I do. The same thing. Nothing fancy. You won't find any fancy things. Every now and then I'll give you some good ideas for hors d'oeuvres, because I like party foods. And they're easy enough to make. And that you get invited to a lot of potlucks and things. Those are good things to take, because they'll always eat your party foods. So anyway, there are my books, and if you're interested in them, you can order them on Amazon. And they'll be under my name, Patricia Estep O'Neill. Some of you probably never heard the name Estep. Estep is a name that comes from Wales. My dad's family came from Wales, and I sure would like to go back there and do a little research, find out what kind of people my ancestors were. So, anyway, I think that I had one other thing I wanted to mention. Billie Jean uses coffee filters when he's cleaning his skillets and pans and spreading the grease in the skillet, what have you. And I just happen to have some coffee filters myself. Now, ordinarily, I couldn't tell you where those coffee filters were because I don't use them for anything. I think what I bought them for, because I don't drink coffee, what I bought them for was for dividers between my china cups and small dishes to protect them when I was putting them away in boxes. So I thought, well, where are my filters? Well, here are my filters. Yep, here they are, the small ones. And I'll show you where I keep them. I was in Goodwill one day, and this is what I saw. If I can get my hand on it. See this? This big old kettle? Well, everybody needs one of those. You know that. You know when you're going to have a lot of company or your garden has come in and you want to fix stews and soups for picnics and things. And you've got that. You've got, here's the lid for it. You know what the lid looked like. Well, I had to have that. All these years I've gone and didn't have one of those big kettles. Time I got one, so I picked mine up at Goodwill. That was several months ago, and I haven't used it yet. But, well, yes, I have used it. Let me show you. I'll show you how I've used it. Here's my little paper bowls. Oh, here are my paper plates. These are sandwich size. Oh, and here's some of those party plates. These are plastic. Look how many I've got of them. So I can take care of a good crowd with those. And down here in the bottom, which I can't get my fingers around, are the, well, this is cute. Put everything in front of the screen. And here's the bigger paper plate. That's where I store my paper plates and my paper bowls. So it does serve a purpose, even if I don't cook in the pot. It'll be useful. I always know where I can find my paper plates. Everybody needs to keep paper plates on hand. And they also come in handy when you're packing away your china. You know, you've used those paper plates to go between each layer of your dishes. So I know you really needed to know all of that stuff. And I'm looking around the room and thinking, oh my gosh, I've got to go out and I've got to buy some plastic tubs. I've looked at the stuff sitting around that I've got out of my closet in the basement, which is packed to the ceiling. And then with the other stuff I got out here, it's around the table, and I'm getting a little bit edgy. And I'm getting close to having a hissy fit if I don't clean up this mess. So Jan said, go out, get you some large plastic tubs and start sorting everything. And now that she's in the new house with Charlie, by the way, she just sold her house yesterday. And that was 3 days. Took her 3 days to sell her house and 7 acres of land. And she had it in pretty good shape. It looked really nice. So she's relieved of that burden, and she's in the house with Charlie on the farm, and they've been picking blackberries, and her peach trees are coming along, her apple trees are coming along, and she says her squash is coming up, so she's going to be the regular little farmer's wife. I don't know how good a one she'll be, but once she sets her head to something, she usually finishes the job. So I'll be going out now and then, and Charlie will keep me supplied with honey, and that will be life on the farm. Now, they don't have cows and pigs and chickens. She's not that good a farmer's wife, but she does like living out in the country, and it is beautiful country. So I guess that'll take care of my chit-chat for the day, and I get the anger out of my system from having to start this video 3 times. It's not a good feeling when you have to do that, because you lose your train of thought you miss part of its story that was probably what you wanted to put the most emphasis on. And I'm glad I found my little milk frother. Don't you like that word? I don't know who came up with that, but it's probably a French word. And so anyway, I'm trying to think what I was going to make so I could use this. I'm anxious to see how it works when I press that button at the top and that little ring at the bottom spins around. Don't you wish you had one of these? I'll let you know how it comes out, whatever I make, if I make. So I'm glad you've stayed with me this long, and I want to tell you, Billie Jean is doing very well with his cooking show. He is a very good cook. He knows what he's doing, and he does a good job. He needs your support. He needs more subscribers, and I'm suggesting that you put his name on your list of subscribers because you will enjoy watching every show, and he's on almost every day. Watch for him. Just me, Billie Jean. You will enjoy listening to him. He's very informative. And I know yesterday he put a video on that I doubt if you will see anyone else on YouTube showing you how to make butter. He worked with the milk, and he kept talking about washing the butter. I would never, yeah, that's what he did. He poured water in, and he stirred, with his hands, and he stirred till he got it all washed, and he put it in a butter mold. I love when someone uses the old wooden butter mold, and I believe the one he had belonged to his grandmother. That makes it even better. And you get, when it left in the refrigerator, you take it out, and you take it out of that mold, and there's that pretty design on the top. It makes you almost not want to use the butter because you don't want to mess up the pretty design on the butter itself. So I'm anxious to see what he will use that butter for, and I have a feeling there are going to be a lot of viewers wanting to follow his methods of how to turn that milk into butter. So be sure and watch him, and he'll be giving you some very good recipes. So that's about all I've got to say today. I think I just might be ready for my nap soon. I take a nap every afternoon. In fact, sometimes I take 2 naps because I stay up so late at night that it's morning before I'm in bed, and I need an extra little nap. So it's going on, I think it's going on 4 o'clock, so I'm ready for my first nap. Stay with me, stay with Billie Jean, and we'll entertain you as best we know how. Thank you.